Is your horn tingling? Let's rub horns. Horns up, horns up, horns up, horns up, horns up. We are Unicorn Podcast.
Big major alert. Look, guys, I've always told you I would be honest with you, and I am getting downright scared when I dig deep into what's going on in the markets and in the economy. I'm going to give you the reasons why in this live stream. We've got some optimistic things. We're here, Dusters. It's Sunday morning. Horns up, horns up. Duster Club. We're going to talk about what's going on with UFD and why we can remain optimistic. But like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Honesty, integrity, prosperity, we've talked about that from day one. I'll be honest with you right now. I feel like we are in a very precarious situation when it comes to the economy, when it comes to the stock market, when it comes to a lot of the things that are going to affect us, right? And it will have, could. That's the other thing. There's no guarantees. There's no crystal ball here. I don't know for sure what's going to happen, but I've been digging deep into some of the research, talking to some very smart people, listening to some very smart people, and I think that we need to keep our horns up, our horns alert, because there's a lot going on out there. But let's start with something positive, guys. April 9th is National Unicorn Day. Are you aware of that? And then we'll dig into the big major alert that we need to talk about. However, let's go out here first and take a look at what's going on with National Unicorn Day. Emma pointed that out, and I've had a couple other people who have pointed out to us, April 9th is National Unicorn Day. There's a couple initiatives going on within the community. Hey, that's a big day where we could shine, where we can show the world what's going on. I fully support any good attracts good oriented initiatives coming from the community. Here was one from Emma that she said might be a good idea. This organization that sends letters to isolated and lonely elderly people. Let's see if I can get this to come up. Yeah, here it is right here. Letters Against Isolation. And now you can see it. There's that website. So again, there's a lot of different ideas, a lot of people kicking things around. Hey, take it, run with it. I'm all behind it. Everything that we can do on Wednesday for National Unicorn Day, let's let the world know about unicorn fart dust. Let's let the world know about good attracts good. But guys, we need to be alert, right? We aren't living in la la land. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's big reason for big concern. Look, we know over the last 2 days, the stock market dropped more than any other time in history or some metric like that. I mean, $11 trillion was erased from the stock market in 2 days. Let me remind you, right? $1 trillion is equal to 1 million times a million. 1 trillion. Okay. 1 million times a million. 11 trillion. That's like 11 million times a million. That's like 11 million millionaires. Think of a millionaire. Do you know any millionaires? Well, think of your favorite millionaire, maybe your uncle, maybe you're a millionaire. What's been erased from the stock market in the last 2 days is the equivalent of 11 million millionaires. Okay. And it could get worse. Could get worse. And here's what I'm hearing that has me very concerned about what's going on. Number one, everything is happening very, very fast, right? This is not a political statement, nothing to do with politics. It's just the reality of what's happened since Donald J. Trump was elected president. We're going through some the tempo of changes, and these are major changes that are going on, are happening so fast that they are shocking the system. It's like the roof has been blown off. Think about what's going on. Number one, we've got the Department of Government Efficiency that's laying off, right? All these people. That has a major impact on the overall economy. people like these government workers make a lot of money, right? And spend a lot of money and whatever waste, however you want to look at it. Again, not a political statement. I won't say that again. But the Doge situation alone is knocking out a good chunk of the U.S. economy. Okay. On top of that, right, we've got National Liberation Day or whatever they're calling it, these massive tariffs, this tariff situation that's happening, that's also shocking the market. On top of that, okay, the geopolitical situation in the world has also become much more precarious, right? We aren't seeing the end of war, right? It seems like actually things in some ways are starting to ratchet up. So we've got these three major things that are going on in the speed at which they're going on. What usually might happen over a 2 or 3 or 4 or 10-year period is happening very quickly. What's it been? 10 weeks, whatever, 12 weeks? Guys, we are in a very, very unique situation. On top of that, right? But wait, there's more good news. I'm not trying to be the town crier. We're just trying to be realistic here about what's going on, right? Unicorn fart dust, I believe, is going to survive and thrive, right? But we are existing within a general macro environment, and it doesn't look pretty because on top of those three things I just mentioned, we're also in this situation in this country where we have debt like we've never had before. Okay, national debt, $36 trillion, right? We wiped out $11 trillion in stock market value in 2 days. But on top of that, we've got this $36 trillion debt, massive interest expense going on. It's very precarious. And the final the cherry on top of the cherry, on top of what we have to be scared about, is the fact that the general stock markets, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, were already at sky high levels. And unfortunately, guys, right, a lot of the smartest people, and I know a lot about the stock market. I can tell you, even after the last 2 days, the stock markets are still in what most of us that study it will tell you is bubble level territory. So just be aware, warning alert. Okay. We'll see how things play out. I think this coming week is critical. Right? Who knows where we'll be Sunday? Next Sunday, we could be like, hey, everything is awesome. Right? But it doesn't feel like the cards are lining up, the players are lining up, the reality, the factors are lining up for a quick rebound. A lot of people thought that on Friday the market would bounce back. Huge. Didn't happen. So guys, just be alert, be aware. Cryptocurrency. Now on Friday, we had some interesting developments in the crypto world. Bitcoin was actually up. A lot of crypto was up on Friday. Decoupling, they call that, from the general markets. That's another possibility. We could find ourselves in a situation where crypto, including UFD, decouples from the overall. We've talked about that. We've talked about how strong this community is and how strong it can become. The fact of the matter is we're only 3.5 months old, right? We haven't had that much time for us to fill the jug completely with diamond hooves. But if crypto in general, right, if Solana, if Bitcoin are able to decouple from the overall, and I'm not saying, look, again, guys, I don't have a crystal ball. I forgot my disclaimer. We did say horns up, and don't you worry, we'll do the 3-second you know what in a little while. But the reality is we got 400 people. Don't forget, when we get to 1,000, I'll ring the gong. Can we do it? Please. Can I ask you a favor, dusters? All right, those of you who are joining us to hear about unicorn fart dust, hear about what's going on in the general economy, could you please retweet this? Could you please share it on YouTube? We want to get the word out to more and more people. My disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, okay? So don't buy or sell anything, make any kind of decisions. Don't get divorced, get married, get a puppy, anything, please, okay, based on anything that I say here today. We do own. I've never sold one of my unicorn fart dust coins. Never, period, kaput. Okay, so I am speaking about something that I believe in. But this prospect, what do you think? Right? What do you think? There's two things. There's two important things for us to consider. Why why UFD could do well in this environment. Number one is if crypto in general is able to decouple, that means separate itself from the major downturn that could happen or already has happened, but if it continues to happen in the general markets, if it can separate itself, that could be very good for the UFD community. The other thing is, are we growing, dusters? Right? As we become more and more filled up with diamond hoof dusters, people who are buying now, I mean, they're getting the deal of a lifetime. I mean, look at the bean price. Let's not look at it. Right? Nothing to laugh about. Trust me. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it right there with you, honestly. Okay. But the other factor to consider is that if we are able to continue, now it's only been 3.5 months, and we have fought against unbelievable odds to get to where we are right now. We're still in the top like 700 out of 10,000 cryptos that are followed on CoinMarketCap. We're in the top 7-8% of all cryptocurrency. Right? So think about that. If we're able to continue to solidify this community and people, we could build a situation where we have our own little economic ecosystem. We have our own little world where we're insulated from what goes on, or more insulated from what goes on out there in the general markets, because we're not part of the fiat money system. We're different. Yeah, they're not like us. No, right? We only have 999 million beans. Okay, period. See that 999? See that black line? This black line right here cannot move. Nobody can make more UFD beans. They can print this stuff into eternity. All right? Right? You can't make more of these. You can't make this jug any bigger. And you like when I shake it? Yeah. Everybody likes when I shake it. So that's the got to make sure you can see that. That's the opportunity that we have right now, right in front of us, even when things are falling apart in the world. Now, this week will be interesting ahead of us. I mean, guys, the government's cutting jobs, okay? The tariff situation, which is massive. That's like screwing up the whole world's global economy. Then you have countries, right, geopolitically, and this all kind of feeds together. These big things that are happening, these are like once-in-a-lifetime events. I was talking last night to somebody who's at an Ivy League school studying business, and they were saying this feels a lot like the what happened after C-19. So we got big things going on. This week will be interesting. Let's go see. Let's see what the latest updates are, because this is where it gets even more interesting. And okay, up. We'll come back to you, Cuban Pete. Here we go. This is from the Kobisi letter. Okay, I think one of the best general economic writers that are out there. It says President Trump is completely silent. Okay. It has now been over 36 hours since the last tariff headline from President Trump. No mention of any potential tariff deals, phone calls, or delays in tariffs. Reciprocal tariffs will officially go live at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time. President Trump has less than 12 hours until the stock market futures open in the United States. That's around, I think, 4 o'clock Eastern today. If he remains silent until then one thing is clear. Is he certainly, quote unquote, not watching the stock market? I guess that's what he said. He's not watching the market. Okay. As he began announcing on March 6th, the market is in desperate need of hope. So we are in a very, very precarious situation right now from an economic perspective. I want to shift back to UFD here for 1 second, because we're going to do an early duster of the day today. Today's duster of the day is a guy named Cuban Pete. He's been supporting us, following UFD for a long time. putting out some great information, sending me some very nice, supportive messages. Cuban Pete, congratulations. You are the duster of the day. But what I want to point out is something that he reposted from this morning. Guys, this is really incredible. This is from 4/6. That's, oh boy, probably just a few hours ago. He said, I did some, this is a repost he did from Ez the Duster. I did some digging on Lunar Crush and found exciting news. UFD is killing it. Ranked 7th in social dominance among all meme coins. 7th amongst all meme coins. But in the pump.fun sector, we're rated number 3. Just, am I on the right screen? Hold on here. Just behind Fartcoin and Titcoin. Oh my gosh. Who took our second spot? Let's keep pushing. Okay. We're at 0.35% social dominance, 3,000 mentions, and 175,000 engagements. Okay. Big thanks to Emma Bear for her encouragement, inspired me to do my part and share these updates with the community. Now, Dusters, let's raid and be louder than ever on X. We can break into the top 3 behind Doge and Pepe if we keep the UFD cash tag and spreading the good dust. Hashtag good attracts good. All right, so there we are. This is the, what we're looking at there is the pump.fun oriented ones. Look at this, guys. Okay. This is us. This is all of pump.fun. Remember, there's been like 10 million other coins created since we came around. I think this one, I have no other way to say it, boob coin, right? They're barely beating us. That's maybe a Johnny come lately, but the reality is, I mean, we're bigger than Peanut right now. We're bigger than Fwa. I mean, guys, we're doing well. I know it's a painful market right now, but given the constraints of what's going on, we're doing very, very well. This is all meme coins. This is, wow. This is incredible. There we are down here. Look at this. Look at the size of our box. Okay. All right. And you know how big the market cap of Doge is, like, I don't know, 100 times bigger than us at this point, or 1,000. Who knows? Guys, we're doing well. Keep up the good work. Okay. Please. Let's keep our attitudes up. Let's keep our horns up. We got a lot to be grateful for. Now, I want to go back into talking about crypto in general, and I've got some very interesting things to talk about in regards to general crypto and as that relates to the US dollar. There's a guy that I followed for years, Lawrence Leopard. He was a gold and silver guy. You know, I was a gold and silver maxi. I still love gold and silver. Actually, got a silver video coming out a little bit later today. Silver is what unicorn blood is made out of. Silver is the physical version of crypto. Crypto, just my opinion, right, is kind of a digital version of gold and silver. You may or may not agree with that. That's okay. But nonetheless, this guy, Larry Leopard, was a gold and silver maxi. He's a Harvard educated guy. Okay, then he started to get into Bitcoin, get into crypto. He put out a new book. This is fascinating information about the fiat money system. This is worth our time to read through. So let's go. Hold on here 1 second. Here we go. This was a post from a guy named Bram Canstein. Okay, listen to this. You're going to learn as we go through this. This is a great synopsis of the fiat money system, why crypto's different. It refers mostly to Bitcoin, but in my opinion, it applies to crypto in general. It says the fiat money system, that's the dollar, that's the euro, that's the paper money system, is a fraud. Here's why Bitcoin is the only way out. The money is fake. The system is rigged. Don't we feel that, right? A lot of us. And Bitcoin is the exit. Lawrence Leopard has spent decades in finance, and he's never been more certain. The fiat system is doomed. That's heavy, right? I'm just repeating what's here, and here's why. Okay. Number one, inflation isn't just a bug. It's a fraud. It's legalized theft. It robs workers. It funds wars. And, it distorts every price signal in the economy. If you're saving in fiat, you're being stolen from daily. I'll expand upon that in a moment. In 2008, it was the beginning of the end. That was the great financial crisis. That's when central banks decided there's no more real price discovery, no more consequences, and bail out everyone and print forever. And this is a powerful statement right here. We've been papering over rot with QE ever since. Deflation, which means when prices go down, is not the enemy. Debt is the enemy. In a healthy system, prices fall as technology improves. Doesn't that make sense? Right? Life should be easier. Think about this. I'm going to come back to this. I think this is powerful. Look, I'm 55 years old. When I look at the lifestyle that my parents and your average middle class person enjoyed in this country in the 1970s and even into the early 1980s, it was actually a lot easier and in a lot of ways better than what we have today. Prices over that period, all this technology, all these technological advances that should have made life even easier for everyday people actually made life is harder now, right? You can't live, and I won't go into details, but you can't live the same lifestyle right now that my parents afforded my family growing up in the 1970s and 1980s. You can't live that same lifestyle now without both the husband and wife working full-time, even if they're working full-time professional jobs where they're working 60 hours a week. It's crazy. Okay, sorry, I digress. Let me go back. Okay. So in a healthy system, prices fall as technology improves, but in a debt-based fiat world, falling prices equals collapse, right? They got to keep inflation going higher and higher. That's why they fear deflation. It breaks their Ponzi. Savers are the suckers of the system. Unfortunately, guys, that's true. Work hard, save money. That's what we're taught. But in fiat, that's how you get wrecked. Bitcoin flips the script. It rewards saving and long-term thinking because it's not an infinite supply, right? The dollar, the paper dollar, all this fiat money can be printed out of nothing. Like an infinite supply can be created. QE is forever, quantitative easing. They said that Silicon Valley Bank bailout was temporary, quote unquote. That was the most recent one. They said that the BTFP, the Bank Term Funding Program, would expire, right? They lied. Every crisis now gets met with stealth printing, right? And that's true. They don't call it QE anymore. They do all this different crazy smoke and mirror. I call it the Fed Funhouse, where there's all those distorted mirrors that you look at, and it'll only accelerate from here. The U.S. must roll over. This is critical, guys. 27 trillion in debt in the next 4 years. Remember, 1 trillion is a million times a million. Foreigners aren't buying treasuries anymore. So who will? The Fed. And that's when the currency dies. Okay. Bitcoin is digital gold with upgrades. Gold bugs and Bitcoiners want the same thing. Honest money, limited supply, no counterparty risk. Do you know what counterparty risk means? Counterparty risk means that any investment or value that you hold, if there's counterparty risk, that means that you're depending on someone else to provide that value. If you have your money in a bank account, you're depending on the bank. If you have money in the stock market, you're depending on the company. You're depending on the market. Okay, that's counterparty risk. When you hold gold, you hold crypto, and if you do self-custody or silver, it's in your hands. You don't have counterparty risk. Bitcoin just moves faster, stores easier, and can't be censored. Larry Fink flipped. Everyone else will too. I think Larry Fink is the president of BlackRock. BlackRock's the largest institutional investment firm in the world. Unless I got that screwed up, I'm going to look foolish. Hold on here. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'll double check. I'm going to fact check myself. Larry Fink. Oops, I put in Larry Funk. Let's see. Who is See if that comes up with it. Larry Funk. Okay, hold on here. Okay, I got to fix that. That's not working. Larry Fink. Here we go. Yeah, he's the co-founder and chairman and CEO of BlackRock, right? So he flipped. I had that right after all. Where was I? Okay. Well, once you understand the math, there's no going back. Bitcoin is the best performing asset in history. Institutions are coming slowly than all at once, right? We know Fidelity, Vanguard, the big guys are getting involved. Most economists are either bought or blind. The Fed funds the think tanks. The Keynesians control the narrative, and that's called Keynesian economics, which is based on the fiat system, based on debt, right? And the other system is the Austrian, which is based on keeping money tied or tethered to real assets, real things like gold and silver. Okay, but cracks are showing, and Bitcoin is the wrecking ball. Crisis will force things to change. When the bond market breaks, the Fed will choose inflation over austerity, right? And we've talked about that. The situation that we're in, look, either we have a big recession, depression, right? Or they'll just start printing again, right? And in nominal terms and number terms, the stock market will go up. Hey, maybe the stock market will double from here, right? But the cost of everything might go up 3 times or 4 times, right? And so in real terms, it could create a difficult situation. And Bitcoin will be the lifeboat. This conversation with Lawrence Leopard is a wake-up call. If you don't understand money, you'll be a victim of the system. Learn why if you do. And there's the video. There's Larry. Lawrence Leopard. I always liked that guy. I will tell you, I followed him closely when he was purely a gold and silver maxi. Okay. I actually wrote him an email. I could find it. This was like 5 years ago. And I said, I'd really like to work for you. You're a very smart guy. Now look, there's no guarantees, but it's very interesting. I like that idea. They say Bitcoin is the wrecking ball. Crypto is the wrecking ball. Why? Because it's democratized, because it's fair, because it's a level playing field, right? Because it's decentralized. And I'll argue, and you know this, and I get in trouble. You can get mad at me. Say whatever you want. I've had it all said about me at this point. That's fine. I think that unicorn fart dust is the baby Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is the wrecking ball. But when I compare, and I'm not saying we're the same thing, and I know we're on the Solana network, and I know that we're a meme coin, but we're like, aren't we like the most different meme coin in the history of the world? I mean, it's bizarre how this unicorn fart dust came to be. What we fought against, the way we're structured, the way you're in charge, you, the community. I believe we are the baby Bitcoin. And I believe Bitcoin can be the wrecking ball in much the same way that gold and silver. I mean, gold's a wrecking ball. If you looked at the gold price lately, it's above $3,000 an ounce. You think I'm crazy? Huh? Well, join the club. I always used to tell people I work for myself, so I got the craziest boss around. Don't you worry. We're going to do the 3-second you know what here in a little bit. But if I'm so crazy, right? See that bear? Right now the bear proudly shows our great sponsor, Ledger, right? The leader in hardware wallet technology. Hey, don't forget, they got a cool Monopoly Bitcoin bundle with the Ledger Flex. You can go to their website. There's a link. An affiliate link, meaning I get a little commission if you buy it, but I'm just being transparent. But there's a link in the description of this video. And also I what do you call that? I pinned a tweet about it. But nonetheless, back to me being crazy. Thank you, Ledger, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. It's a big honor. Great company. I love my Ledger Flex. I love the Ledger Live app, all that great stuff. But guys, that bear used to be blindfolded, and he had a blindfold on that said 2,500. Go look at a video of mine from a year ago, 2 years ago. And I said I would take the blindfold off if the gold price ever got to $2,500. You know what people were saying to me? They said, you're crazy. You're nuts. You're a paid shill. I got all kinds of horrible things said about me. Okay. That's part of doing what I do. And being and believing in something and talking about it. right? That's when gold was 1,600, 1,800 an ounce. And people said, you're misleading people. You're a fraud. You're just a paid shill. Even though I never made any commission off any gold that anybody ever bought. I did have a sponsor, the best bullion company in the world, Pimbex, Pimbex. I still love Pimbex. I still stand by Pimbex, right? Still good friends with the brothers that own it. But I never made a commission off anything. And I had that thing and I said, guys, we're going to get to $2,500 gold. We're going to take now gold's at 3,100. But I'm crazy. I'm crazy because I think that unicorn fart dust is baby Bitcoin. Well, I got news for you, buttercups. Yeah, I'm talking to you, buttercups. Not dusters, not diamond hooves, but to the buttercups. I know my truth, which I am entitled to speak because I still live in the greatest country in the world, the United States. Where is it? The United States of America. I think that unicorn fart dust is baby Bitcoin. That's what I believe, right? And a lot of people have told me that know the history of Bitcoin, that know the grassroots, that understand, right, the almost insurmountable odds that Bitcoin had to overcome. They're like, Ron, this feels a lot like Bitcoin. I'm like, well, hey, my case in point. So where was I? All right, where are we here? Did I do Cuban Pete? Cuban Pete is the duster of the day. Did I show that? Let's show his that's Larry Leopard. You can go read about him, learn about him. All right, we got that turned on. Let me find Cuban Pete. And that's the Kobisi letter. Here it is. All right. Hold on here. This guy, huh? Oh, shoot. Hold on, everybody. There we go. There he is. Hello, Cuban. Look at him. He's tweeting right now. I wonder if he's on the live stream. There's Cuban Pete. Everybody join me congratulating Cuban Pete. You're the duster of the day. We appreciate you. You're an important part of the community, right? This community is made up of great individual people. We've almost got 1,000. If you guys get to 1,000, we're at 955 is what my stats are showing. 30 minutes in, we're breaking records. Retweet this. Go watch it on YouTube so we can get some more buttercups. We're also on Facebook. Tell your grandparents on Facebook. There's this crazy guy in St. Louis, right? Got a thing called Unicorn Fart Dust. You got to watch it. I think we're on Twitter. We're on X. We're on what else? LinkedIn, where all the professionals are watching, the corporates. Yeah, I mean, we're on Spotify. Susie puts us on Spotify. Anyway, everybody out there on all those platforms, join me in congratulating Cuban Pete and congratulate yourself. Cuban Pete, you're the duster of the day. And boom. Congratulations. There's your golden horn. How's your horn feeling? Let's rub horns. Huh, guys? Let's rub horns. Now, look, we're about good attracts good. Well, back up. Let's get back to the foundations of unicorn fart dust. We are about good attracts good. We don't care what political party you're in. We don't care what kind of food you eat. We don't care if you live north of the equator or south of the equator, like all our friends in Australia. Hello, everyone, right? South America, North America, Africa. We don't care. We are fair and decentralized. You could be living, in the middle of, think about this, guys. Think about this. A man or woman living in the middle of Africa right now, right? Probably under more difficult situations than most of you are living in, right? But a real human, right? Who has one of these. There's Larry Fink. Oh, no, that's not Larry Fink. That was Larry Funk. Anyway, one of these, a phone, can participate with us on a fair and level playing field. Right? Burger Man. How is Burger Man? Burger Man, are you still out there? I know, guys, we all go through our cycles and phases. I haven't heard from Burger Man for a while. Have you guys heard from Burger Man? You know who Burger Man is? Burger Man's in the Philippines. He has a pop-up mart. He gave away 100 hamburgers and gave people unicorn fart dust. Anyway, fair and level playing field everywhere, just like Bitcoin. I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, we need 13. You guys are going to get the gong. Oh, I know what we're doing. I don't have a producer. I don't have somebody. This is what I got to work with. Okay, guys. All right. So, but I got a list of things we need to do during every show. Okay, there it is right there. Disclaimer: horns up. Good attracts good. All right. And what was the other thing? Oh, like, share, and subscribe, please. You know, we got bills to pay around here, but the most important thing one of the most important things we do, right? We got our horns up, but we also on a daily basis do the cheesiest thing in the world because it's good for us. And I'm telling you, it radiates. Feel your horn. Okay. Your horn, you got your horn up there? We're going to do the 3-second smile. That's when we all smile at the camera for 3 seconds. Are you ready? Sometimes we go a little longer. It helps. I'm telling you, it helps. Where was I? All right, let's see what Gastronoma had to say. This guy, Gastronoma. He's got some good news for you, right? We need good news. Unicorn Fart Dust is all about good. Good attracts good. Good news. Yada, yada, yada. Let's see what I can find here. Where are you? Is this it? Here it is. I'm going to read this whole thing to you, and I'll try to read it with some zest and zeal to keep you entertained. Good morning, dusters. The phrase, "it's always darkest before the dawn," is a metaphor that bears repeating, pun intended, at times like this, when everything looks bleak around us. And then you got Ron coming on a live stream and saying it's the end of the world, right? Okay. Things often seem at their worst just before they get better. The metaphor offers hope and encouragement and is symbolic. Ah, shoot. Thanks, Susie. Uh-oh. Now you see it. Darn it. It's a 3-step process. Here, let's practice this together, dusters. Everybody, let's say hi to Susie, and then we're going to get back to Gastronoma. Everybody, please. Suzanne, could you please say hello to everyone? Over.
Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here.
Susie's going to give you a high five. Okay. Thank you. We love you, Susie. Over. Okay. It's a 3-step process when I want to share a screen. First, I share the screen. Then I go to the right web page, and then I do this. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Hold on here. Now I'm all messed up. All right. Things often seem at their worst just before they get better. The metaphor offers hope and encouragement, and is a symbolic way of saying that despair, hardship, or struggle often comes just before positive change, before the light defeats the darkness. But in the case of Unicorn Fart Dust, it is the chart that is down. It is the market that is drowning in a stormy sea of red. When you read through our timeline, you see our candles are burning bright. If you read our energetic post, enjoy the art, bask in the positive X spaces, and see all the new members who have been drawn to our cause, you would think we are at market highs. In fact, our community is stronger. Unicorn Fart Dust is better positioned now than it has ever been in history. Ultimately, we have to separate the token price from the positive vibes, energy, and optimism that is burning bright in Unicorn Fart Dust. To take a saying from the financial crisis of 08-09, UFD is too big to fail. Why? Because good attracts good. And cherished values of honesty, integrity, charity, friendship, and love are timeless, universal, and essential for the progress of humanity. We are the best hope for crypto. Okay, Sath has astutely pointed out that Unicorn Fart Dust is a foundational platform. And I would also say that UFD is a stage in the crypto and meme space where a battle is being waged to win the struggle of good versus evil, hope versus despair, light and warmth versus cold and darkness. Wow. Thank you, Gastronoma. You know, I think that comes back to what I've said and what I know to be the case and what I still continue to hear every day, right? Big people are watching Unicorn Fart Dust. Okay. The fact that we are number 3 in social dominance on out of the pump.fun coins is a big deal. The fact that we were number 7, where was that? Here, let's go take a look. Let's practice me sharing screens. So first I'm going to share the screen, then I'm going to find the screen, okay, which is this one, and I'm going to share it. And this is Cuban Pete, but Cuban Pete, there he is. Cuban Pete made a new post. I have no doubt. Cuban Pete, you're the duster of the day. Where are you, man? Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay, what are we? Number, okay, wait a minute. Let's read this again. For those of you who are joining us, we're number 3 in social dominance out of the pump.fun coins, and we're 7th amongst all. I mean, that is incredible, guys. That is really absolutely incredible. That's a big deal. That's a big, massive deal. Let's look at some funnies. All right, we still like to have fun. Oh, we got more to talk about. Look at, got all these colored cards we're going to read. It's unicorn blood. This, right? Look, I mean, I spare no expense. I write things in multicolors so we can say unicorn. Oh, and I got to ring the gong. Hold on. Let me talk to my lovely assistant, the queen, the first lady of Unicorn Fart Dust, Upstairs Susie. And by the way, if you've not followed Upstairs Susie on X, please do, because she thinks she's going to get more followers than me. All right. Hello, Upstairs Susie. Over.
Yes, dear. Over.
Please remind me to ring the gong if I start to wrap it up early. Thank you. Over.
Okay, over.
Where was I? Oh, funnies. I don't have a producer. I don't have a teleprompter. I just have this. So bear with me. We will ring the gong because we have over 1,000. We got over 1,100. Let's go for 1,200. Huh? You want me to stay on here till we get to 1,200? Sorry, my nose itched. I don't get a commercial break. Bear with me. Where was I? Oh yeah, the funnies. All right. So I did that. Share the screen. I did that. Okay. And now Susie thought this was funny. Oh, from Cuban Pete. What do you know? We will go. We will go from working at McDonald's to owning McRonald's. Who's in, UFD? Sir, this is McRonald's. Oh boy, my name being Ron, growing up, anyone who's been named Ron knows that at certain points of your life, you're going to be called Ronald McDonald. So that's a great one. Look at that. That's me at McDonald's. Okay. Let's go to the next funny. This one came from Gastronoma. I'm going to share this tab. He sent this at 2 minutes into the live stream. I was running late, so it's Gastronoma's fault that I was late this morning. He says, wow, busy weekend. I've been onboarding more buttercups into UFD. Good job, Gastronoma. Let's get holder count growing again. And let's get those beans in the possession of more diamond hoof dusters. And look at that. Isn't that cool? The minions. I love it. You know, I think I've said when the market cap gets to $1 billion, if it gets to $1 billion, I'm going to take off on a round the country trip in the duster. And I think I'm going to dress. I'm going to dress like a minion because I've got some really cool overalls. We're called Roundhouse. They used to be the only ones made in America with a yellow shirt. So anyway, there we go. Thank you, Gastronoma. All right, guys, I'm going to ring the gong. Don't forget the 3-second smile. Those of you who are joining later. Here we go. Where's the value, right? Where's the value? We have massive value in UFD, massive value in the community. And I want to tell you the reasons why, okay? Because we have our shared beliefs. That creates value. We have our sense of belonging. That creates value. Let me ask you a question. I'll give you an example. Is there value in a country club? Is there a value in the Lions Club? My neighbor used to be president of the Lions Club. Yes. Is there value in the Rotary Club? Yes. Do people pay money to belong to country clubs? Yes. Do people pay money? And I'm not saying we're a religion, and I'm not saying anything. I'm not a cult. This is not a cult. It's a cult, C-O-L-T. But do people pay money to join their religious communities? Yes. Okay. So there is big value here. And the cool thing about UFD is it's a magic environment, right? There's real magic that happened from what we did from the very beginning to where we are now. It's very, very value can also mean laughing. People pay. Think about this. Think about this as we talk about the value proposition. Here's a great example. People pay money to go to comedy shows, to laugh. People pay money to go have the experience to be entertained at the movies, right? People, right? There's so to say that from that perspective, to me, that demonstrates absolutely that there is real value in this community. And right, we agree on something, right? We're in agreement, right? Again, it's so what makes this even more special and unique, right? Like this isn't a meme coin community that's aligned itself around a certain political stance or a certain hobby or anything like that. No, we've aligned ourselves amongst goodness, right? So people set all that other stuff aside and come here and come together. That's a unicorn. That's special. That is unique. That sets you apart. Okay. Again, this is not a political show at all. I never talk about politics. Only time I talk about politics, because it's a great reason why we are so special, is I guarantee you we've got some hardcore Republicans, and that's great. We've got some hardcore Democrats. That's great. Okay. But I've never, everybody sets that stuff aside. Okay. For this like better experience, I guess you would call it. And everybody's entitled to think whatever they want. And that's, but this better experience of coming into UFD, coming into this community, and it's true. Right. And I didn't, hey, look, I got full, honesty, integrity, and prosperity. I got to be honest. Let me tell you a little story. On December 15th of 2024, 3.6 months ago, I had no idea that I would start a meme coin. Nunca. None. Okay. Now we're going to check with Upstairs Susie here in a second to confirm, just not that you need me to tell you this, but we're going to confirm. I had no clue. I had no plan. None. It was a week before or 10 days before Christmas. All I wanted for Christmas, I only wanted one thing. Okay. I had a big strategy for 2025. I was going to continue to do silver and gold videos, which I am doing. There's a silver video coming out later today. Okay. But my other plan for fun was going to be that once a week, I was going to make a cooking video. I was going to start a new channel, and it was going to be called Ron's Crockpot. All I wanted for Christmas was this. Where'd it go? Hold on. And I got it. There it is. I'm not sponsored by this company, but hold on. This is all that I wanted. On December 14th. Okay, a crock pot. I got it. There we go. Okay, and I make a chuck roast. I made a pork butt, but I don't have time to make cooking videos because this magic happened. Susie, it's Susie's fault. Susie sent me an article on a Sunday night. I have to look back. Okay, I'm on a point. She sent me an article, and then this magic happened. That created this environment that where people set everything aside. Suzanne, over.
Yes, dear.
Can I continue with a few more points before I do the gong? Over.
Okay, you got it. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh.
interrupt you.
Okay. You didn't say over, but I'll say it for you. Over. But I do want you to please confirm with everyone, not that they don't believe me, but that on December 14th, I had no plan to make a meme coin. And then this magic happened. Is that an accurate description, in your opinion, of what happened? Over.
Yeah, I think the magic happened because I sent you that article on Farcoin. Over.
Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. Over. Anyway, it's incredible. Where else was I? Here, let's look at this card. What does this say? Huh? Simple. Everything here is simple. We're on the blockchain. We're fair. We're transparent. We're finite. We're decentralized. We're a community. Dictates. Oh, the community dictates value. Organic. I mean, think about that, right? We are on the blockchain. Remember what I said earlier, right? The guy in the middle of Africa, he can get involved just as much as anybody else. We got 1,200 people. Where are you guys from? And then I'll ring the gong. It's a special situation, and it exists outside of this. This could be a euro. This could be an Australian dollar. This could be a British pound. This could be whatever, right? Paper money. By the way, it didn't used to be that way. The money, this is interesting. The money in the United States, what's this? Is that $1? Huh? Buttercups? Huh? Dusters? Is that $1? No, this is not $1. It didn't used to be that way in this country, right? It used to be, if you look at the top of this, that the dollar, can you see that? Hold on, it'll come into focus. Somebody's supposed to be sending me a better camera. Come on, come into focus. Focus. There it is. See that? It says silver certificate. And then if you read this part at the bottom, I'll read it to you. It says $1 in silver. My gnawed off fingernails are in the way. $1 in silver, payable to the bearer on demand. I'm knocking stuff over. Sorry, guys. Now, and that's why I say, and that's when America became great, during that period when the money was backed by the physical form of crypto, which is silver and gold. Sorry, that's what I believe. And actually, I know it to be the case. I think Larry Lepard, who was educated at Harvard, would agree with me, right? There's a guy, what's his name? Anyway, there's some great, there's books written that the greatest achievements that happened in this country happened during the period where the money was backed by silver and gold. There was no crypto back then. So I would argue that maybe, like that article we read earlier said, crypto is the wrecking ball. It's very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. And do you know what democratized means? Oh, we got 1,200 people. This is incredible. Baby, we're building up. We are building up. We got 1,225 unicorns out there. Huh? Dusters. Yeah, we're dusters. We used to be buttercups. Are there any buttercups in the audience? I bet there are. You know what a buttercup is? If you're a buttercup, you don't know what a buttercup is. Only the dusters and the diamond hooves know what it is. Maybe if you stick around, I'll tell you what it is. Right? Okay, now let's ring the gong. Where was I? Oh, geez. Okay, let's look. It's a big deal. 1,200 people on a Sunday morning. So I'm going to ring the gong. I love the gong. I'll ring it 4 times for you today. This is in honor of you. Now smile the whole time, right? Do a 3-second smile. You hear it? It keeps ringing after you. I'm going to do it one more time. I want you to listen. It keeps ringing after you ring it. I think that's called reverberation. Anyway. Okay. Where was I? Right? Where was I? Oh, buttercup. So if you're a buttercup, you don't know what a buttercup is. A buttercup is someone who's not yet bought their first unicorn fart dust beans. When you buy your first beans, then you go on to crypto Twitter or X, whatever the heck you want to call it, and you put in $UFD and say, I just bought my first unicorn fart dust meme coin. And then you know what? Everybody jumps down your horn. No, they were nice to you, and they're going to say, no, they're not called coins. They're called beans. And congratulations, you're no longer a buttercup. Now you're a duster, right? It's a big, big deal. All right, guys, tonight is going to be crazy, okay? Who knows how this is all going to play out? We got a big, major warning. I shared with you earlier in the broadcast. Where'd my piece of paper go? I had it all written out. Where the heck did that go? Oh, here it is. We got a lot of craziness going on. The futures will open around 4 or 5. It could have a major impact on crypto, on unicorn fart dust, on gold and silver, on the stock market. Those will be the futures that open up later today. But we got massive changes going on right now in our world. Why are things so scary? Because the markets are melting down like never before. These Doge cuts are having an impact, not a political. I'm all for getting rid of waste, personally. I respect other people's opinions, no doubt. All right, but fraud and waste is typically not a good thing. Nonetheless, we've got the major tariff situation, which is sending economic shockwaves around the world. All right, geopolitically, there's a lot going on. Unfortunately, I am anti-war. I've always been very vocal about that. I think that as humans, we could evolve to a place where we really don't need to like kill each other. Hey, I got a great idea, guys. Maybe all that money that we in resources and man and woman power that we spend, not to mention the violence that goes into war, maybe if we all got along, we could all have a much better life. Anyway, I digress. Stocks are already at nosebleed levels. And we've got this fiscal situation in the United States, which is disgusting. It's not a pretty picture, okay? Who knows how this all plays out, right? Maybe Trump, maybe he's already done it since I've been on this live stream for almost an hour, all right? But nonetheless, can we get to 1,300? You know what? We get to 1,300 dusters, buttercups, and diamond hooves, and I'll ring the gong again 3 times. But they could come out. We could get a statement out of the White House anytime, right? They've done that on Sundays before. Remember Friday night before the inauguration, before he was president and Trump made his own meme coin? Think about that. Let's get back on track here. Be alert, be prepared for anything, be emotionally ready for what could be happening. I could be dead wrong. We could be here next Sunday saying, hey, everything is awesome. Right? The Fed, we could get news out of the Fed just because Jerome Powell on Friday said, well, I'm not going to lower rates. We're just watching what's happening. Trust me. Let me tell you something. Okay. No offense. I've invited him down here many times. This guy has a history of saying things that are inaccurate, let's say. Okay. So the Fed could pop out tonight and say, oh, the world markets are melting down and, blah, blah, blah. We got to make an emergency meeting of the Fed. We got to cut rates. I mean, be prepared for anything. Trump could make a statement. Who knows what I mean, there's a lot going on in the world right now. So please be prepared. We only need 14 more people. So what we're going to do, I'm going to say where you're from. We're starting to do this a lot of days. We won't do this every day, but we'll do it again today. I think we did it yesterday. All right, guys, here's what you got to do. In the comments, type in where we're at right now. I'm in the basement. You can tell me anything you want, Earth, your room, your state, your city, whatever you want. I'm going to try to read it out, but Ron's in the basement. Not trying to FUD. Sorry. Hey, Chug, no FUDding. Hey, we're born in FUD. All right, we need 7 more people. Houston, Texas. We got this. Stay strong and stay loud. Hello, Susie. All right, guys, come on. Where are you from? I'm waiting. I know it's going to start flying. Mars, Duster01. Colorado. You're awesome. You're awesome. Okay, you guys are all awesome. I'm from the future, and I'm a millionaire. Oh, whenever I ask this question, I get all kinds of things. On the balcony in Newburgh, Indiana. All right. Hey, Silvershire. Good to see you, buddy. Iowa, Cryptoholics. Joshua, Red Deer, Alberta. China. China? Really? Finland, still here. All right. Good to see you, my friend. I'm from 2008, so this is not new. Hey, let's say hi to Cryptoholics. Look at that. Huh? Everybody say hi to that man, Cryptoholics. He's been a huge supporter of UFD. Come on, we're up. We got it. 1,300. Okay, Canada, Texas, California. Wow, guys, this is awesome. Arizona, Javier, good to see you. Huh? Guys, we are everywhere. It's a big deal. I promised you 3 more rings of the gong. Congratulations. That's a big deal. 1,300. Think of all of us, right? New Jersey. And these are just the people who are watching this live right now. 1,300 people. Think of a good sized, arena with 1,300. And those are just the people that are watching live right now. By the time everyone watches this, right, we've got like thousands of people coming together, a community, right? And at the end of the day, all right, even this stuff, and I know some of the silver people aren't going to like me saying this, and I love silver. I'm a silver lover. At the end of the day, this is worth what people decide that it's worth. And that's from Big Tim the Silvershire. He actually gave me that. The guy that's in the comments. What a guy. What a friend. So, guys, 1,500 tomorrow. Yeah, let's do it. I'm a penguin. Somebody in France. 2 people in France. Hey, Ollie. That's Ollie. Ollie's from England, but she's in France. 1,500. Yeah, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you for being here. We want a full hour. We bring the energy. We bring the horn. Okay. Let's keep it up. Horns up. There's only one unicorn fart dust. We are in the top 8% of all crypto. Okay. We are killing it. As the Duster provided us with some great analytical numbers. We're killing it from a social dominance perspective. Spread, please go out on if you're watching this on YouTube, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you're watching it on X, retweet this. Let's get people watching. Let's bring people into our community because we're doing some good. That includes you, right? Look, I'm looking at a camera right now, but really, I'm looking at you, each individual. You matter. You're important. There is no community without you, right? I'm here. If it was just me, I'd be talking to the wall or the stuffed deer I have on the wall, which I didn't kill. I got from my neighbor's trash can. I rescued it. All right, guys, you are important. Keep it up. Keep smiling. Don't forget, if you gotta break away and do a 3-second smile, there's nothing wrong with that. Have a great day. I'll see you.